Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Yesterday we spoke about Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly and the whole market behind weight loss and weight loss drugs, and if you should be investing in it and if you should see that as an opportunity. Talking about markets and opportunities, today I thought we will take upon the chance to talk about Buffett. During his speech, he very candidly said that he doesn't expect Greg Abel to kind of like perform the way him and Charlie had. A lot of people heard that, like my friend Albin, and had an immediate knee-jerk reaction and are wondering if maybe the best of Berkshire Hathaway is over and if he should exit his positions in Berkshire Hathaway. So that is the premise of this video. Hopefully by the end of the video, you'll be left with some food for thought. And if you do have Berkshire Hathaway in your portfolio, should you be selling it? If you don't have it, now that Warren seems to be heading out, should you buy it? So these are the kind of thoughts which are running in Albin's head, which I was talking to him about. And these notes are the discussions from that. And I wanted to share it with you. So this is why I put this video out for you guys. So number one, Buffett had early advantage, which was very unique. Okay, he started managing very small sums of funds, right? And he could easily walk in and buy a small, tiny, undervalued company that no one else noticed for a small parcel of money and allow it to grow and sell it and, make vast sums of money in it. That is like entering a small cap company and making sure that company becomes a mid cap, large cap, and exiting in large cap, or even holding it on large cap, seeing multiple folds of growth. Is that possible in India? Yes, it is very much possible. There are many, many small caps. Would I do it or would I attempt it? No. Because it requires a certain amount of acumen, look at data such as accounts and papers. And believe it or not, Buffett actually used to go and visit these companies physically and talk to the management, interview with them, pour over their data, their accounts, their books, talk to multiple people in the organization, and then he would make an offer of a vast sum of money to either buy the company or to invest in the company in a large position. I don't have access to small caps like this. I cannot walk into a small cap and say, even if I have a vast sum of money and offer and say, let me look all over your books. That kind of scene in India right now currently is not there, which was there for Buffett way back then. So he could buy these undervalued companies. So compounding, let's say $10 million at 30% was very doable back then, because you had these small niches in the market, corners in the market where you can compound that. Now taking today $800 billion and trying to compound something like that is completely a different game. And now to talk about $800 billion comparing to $10 million, if you want to talk about scale, because most people like you and me cannot understand the scale of 10 million to 800 billion. It just sounds like two numbers, million, billion, what is it? So if you take it like a dollar as a second, 10 million would come around to about 4 months would be, if you take a second instead of a dollar. 800 billion would be the entire history of human civilization, recorded human civilization, and you take that entire time and you multiply that by twice, that would be 800 billion in comparison to 10 million. 4 months or the entire human recorded civilization twice. That's a scale which we're talking about. So Greg Abel is in a different league or a scale altogether compared to where Warren was when he started. Second, size limits opportunity. Berkshire Hathaway now is a giant. Like I said, it's not small. Like Warren Buffett was small. The returns on a $1 trillion portfolio are naturally much lower. It takes a lot more to move the needle because just the size of 1 trillion. Even a brilliant idea, no matter how brilliant, it's not going to have a big impact on a trillion. That's like me saying, let's say $1 trillion is the entire size of Chennai city. 10 billion is only taking Anna University and IIT. If you take the land mass of IIT and Anna University, That is the size of 10 billion compared to the entire city of Chennai being 10 trillion. So even $10 billion, if you manage to invest it somewhere, if Greg Abel takes it and invests it somewhere, it's not going to move the entire city of Chennai. So imagine something happening in the pockets of Anna University and IIT, that landmass, some event happening there. Do you think someone in the outskirts of Chennai will be impacted by it? Hardly. That is what when we say that even a $10 billion investment will not move a portfolio of $1 trillion. So the scale which we're talking about is huge, and Greg Abel has to manage this behemoth, right, in a market which is transparent more, right, which is interconnected, which is far more efficient, and it's very competitive. Transparent, in a way, interconnected and efficient is the world we live in now, thanks to the internet. During the time when Warren Buffett started, there was no interconnectedness. Market conditions have changed. Buffett operated in a market which had far less data, far fewer hedge fund managers and investment banks, and information moved very slowly. Like what he did with American Express, trying to do something like that, Greg Abel trying to do that is very, very difficult. So keep that in mind. The conditions are very different. And of course, one thing Greg Abel is he's not Warren Buffett. There is a Buffett edge. Like Anand Srinivasan has an edge, which I cannot. Though being his brother, I don't have that edge. Anand can read something, look at something once, and it sticks to his mind. He never forgets it. Some data or some information I shared with him when I was much younger, he still remembers when I shared it with him, where I shared it with him, where all of us were at that point of time. That kind of memory I don't have. It is a blessing and a curse, that kind of a memory, because you tend to remember everything. You can't pick and choose to forget things. When you can't forget anything, you remember everything. So think about that. You can't forget anything. So Buffett has that kind of an edge. He can analyze a business and look at some numbers and data far better than others, which Greg Abel won't be able to do. So that is the third thing which I wanted to highlight. One is the size, the market conditions, then of course the Buffett edge. So if you compare and put it all together, that's why Buffett said, don't expect Berkshire to repeat the past. Taking all that into consideration, it is going to be an uphill task for him to do this. This is something similar to what happened with Apple when Steve Jobs left. Steve Jobs was the creative engine behind Apple. When he was pushed out of Apple and he came back after creating Pixar, he came back to Apple. He created the iPhone, the iPad, the iMac, product after product after product, innovation. He carried the whole Apple and the world of information technology and how we interact with digital media to another new age. That was all born Steve Jobs, and he created Apple and the size of Apple. Tim Cook came and he sat on the chair. He's managed it well, no doubt about it. Like Warren Buffett said, all the money Berkshire Hathaway has made, Warren Buffett has made, he credits a vast sum of it to Tim Cook and how he's been able to efficiently grow Apple. But what Apple has been lacking is Steve Jobs. And that is very apparent. What do you see with the iPhone and Apple Intelligence and the way the Apple Vision has failed? They need someone as Steve Jobs, and they're searching. I hope they find one. Find someone or find a team which can give them this next burst of inspiration, taking Apple to the next level. And it's not a question of money. Money they have. But the sad thing is, just because you have money doesn't mean you can attract the right talent. Sometimes talents just don't land up because of money. They like to have space to grow. And huge companies like this don't create the environment and the space to grow. Same way, Greg Abel, we'll have to wait and watch. He's not a Warren Buffett. I hope he's a little more than a Tim Cook. That he does a little better than just managing Berkshire Hathaway, that he's able to find and broker these deals. Like the biggest last deal which Buffett did, the Japanese deal, was a stroke of genius. That's the last thing Charlie Munger was there witnessing him doing this great deal, and even Munger said it was a brilliant deal. The way he took money from the Japanese, invested it back in Japan, and at no cost, and he's getting vast sums of money in terms of dividends. It's a brilliant stroke. So will these kind of opportunities come for Greg Abel? We'll have to wait and watch. He will have the capital and he'll have the market, what we call means to go about doing it if he wants to approach something. But we'll have to wait and watch. So the days of 20% annualized returns are over. So should you be investing in Berkshire Hathaway? If you have them, should you be selling? Well, I can only talk about my own personal situation where I am standing. I'm not selling it. I'm holding on to it. So if you have it, I hope that you hold on to it. And if you don't have it, I hope you consider it. Because it is a great company still, regardless of all things put together. If you see, as a holding company, Berkshire Hathaway is huge. So anyway, thanks for watching the video today. I hope you found it informative and entertaining as always. And see you tomorrow with another video. Thank you and good night.